Hey everybody, this is Mike, and welcome to a very special edition of the Real Black Podcast. I know it's been a while since Black Star when I got a chance to really hang out with this gentleman who's on the line, and I know there's a lot of things that have been happening, and we've continued to talk, but we haven't shared with our viewers, our listeners, our supporters, our fans, all the conversations that we have. But we're, you know, in we're getting really focused on having a regular environment for us to communicate like this. So consider this another test episode with me. Joining me is Charles Woods, live from Yonkers. How you doing, Charles? Man, welcome back.
Well, first of all, peace and blessings to the real black family. I'm having some health issues, but as Westmoreland said, I shall return.
Yeah, you've been running, burning both sides of the candle. I think is all it is. So, but prayers up for Charles. Those who are listening or in the prayer squad. Um, but it's good to hear your voice, and there's so much has been going on, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it. I mean, as we speak, it's Sunday, September 9th. Recently, Serena Williams played for the Grand Slam and lost, and I know you guys watched it, you and your family. And what were your thoughts about it?
Well, the first thing I had to do is uh, get the channel for it because my wife came in and she said because I just switched cable
Mm.
and so I don't know what I have or don't have, but I like to try to keep up on the news. But she said, uh, "Can you get the ESPN?" So I limped on in there and worked on it, and I got it for her, and then I was just too tired to move. I just fell on the sofa and looked at it because I was interested to see. First of all, I was amazed that
Naomi.
Serena was Serena was even in it.
Mm.
Because the last I've been seeing is that she's hasn't been doing that well. Not really being in game shape, having had the baby, and I don't know what she had on. It was some outfit. I don't know if it's to hide or the extra pounds she put on or whatnot. But
Oh, come on now, Charles. She was wearing a cat suit before they made her wear that thing. I think Serena's body. I'll take Serena's body, peanut butter and jelly. She could be sitting on the couch with you, and I'll be like, "Okay, Serena, whatever you want to wear, you put Snuggie on, and Serena looks good." But go ahead.
but anyway, I was going through some news when I felt a little better, and I saw this body on Naomi. I saw her legs. I said, "Oh, man, she's got some big old muscular legs like Serena." But I don't know much about it. But obviously, she looks like she's mixed. So, am I not wrong with that?
Naomi Osaka. This is new. I don't follow tennis. I'm letting you tell this story, man. You're stuck on her legs. You gotta get into the sports part, or else we're gonna get accused of some sexism. I know
No.
both these women are
When
easy on the eyes, but what about their
when I'm looking
play?
at the legs, I'm thinking she's beaten Serena before.
Hmm.
And I look at the legs, and one of the things that it suggested to me is that she looks like she may have a lot of power because you're going to need a lot of power to face Serena. Serena has like one of the outstanding serves uh, for a woman, and you look at Serena's legs and you can see where that power is coming from. But I didn't feel Serena had a chance, being the fact that she just had the baby, and I don't really feel she's in game shape totally yet. But I was shocked that this was a competition for the championship, and so kudos to Serena, and then I learned she had the chance to break records because, like I said, I haven't really been following a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to get myself together. But uh, I don't know if you're aware of what happened during the game.
Yeah, well, that's the big headline. That she had a riff with the line judge.
Yeah, and what came out is that you know, uh, historically, um, Serena and Venus, they've always felt that there's been a double standard against them for racial reasons. And then the other thing is, we always used to say black women, the double whammy, you're black and you're female. But Serena was very upset because what happened is there was some movement in her box by her coach that had all of the appearances of being
A tell.
coaching.
A tell, yeah.
Okay, so that's a no-no, and so the ref gave her a rebuke for that, and she took issue with it. She went over and said, "Look, I don't need to cheat to win. That's not me." You know what I mean? And they kept replaying it, and according to what the cameras showed, is like that if this guy was attempting to coach her, which he knows is not right, her coach. The thing is, many people say they don't even think Serena was paying attention to him, and even saw him, and then his hands were held low.
Right.
But Serena took great issue with that, and she then demanded an apology.
Mm-hmm.
And she sat down, and she was demonstrative, yes, but upset because she's a very passionate person. But it was a controlled anger because she
Right.
was trying to stifle how she really. I know she was very upset because it was insulting. She felt degraded and insulted that someone would suggest she needs to cheat to win.
Right.
Okay, and she demanded an apology, and this guy wasn't having it. But this came a point where it looked like he was apologizing and just saying, "Okay, I just meant it as a warning," and you could see where in the give and take between the two of them, where Serena kind of felt like, okay, I'll accept that. Okay, as long as you don't think I was cheating. And Serena kind of felt that the guy was kind of apologizing. But as the game went on, there was a bad set that Serena had, and you know how Serena gets, where
Took her out of the game. She lost. Yeah.
what happened, and she played poorly. There was especially the last thing you want in a very competitive game is what they call unforced errors. And there was a volley she didn't do well, and she had a bad return. And what she did is she broke her
Her racket.
her racket.
Yeah. So she already lost at that point. Her mental game went.
So then that was a second offense because you have a number of demerits that can go against you that can cause where you can lose points. But she didn't think that the first instance of her going at it with this ref caused her to lose anything. And she really lost it then. And so something else happened. I'm trying to think. But Naomi was getting ready to serve, and something happened. Oh, here's what happened. Serena got upset behind finding out that when she broke her net, this caused her more problems. And she said, well, the first thing should not even count because I told you I was not cheating with my coach. And then she called the guy a thief. So this was what he said was verbal abuse, and this caused her to lose points. And Naomi was supposed to serve, but she was given a set.
Wow.
And so now this crowd turned. Serena was fuming, and she wasn't successful in her serve. And then when it came back, Naomi had the chance to win, and it was like it was over.
Yeah.
It was over. And but I do want to say one thing. When they had the award presentation, they asked Serena, you want to ask her how you feeling, what like that. She said, I don't want to even answer those questions.
Mm.
I just want the crowd to stop booing. Naomi won the game. She's a champion. We're both trying to get ourselves together. We tried. We did our best, and Serena showed class, man, and the crowd reaction to that was fantastic. And sometimes you can be a bigger champion in how you lose than in how you win.
Okay.
And right at that moment, Mike, I think Serena, she showed so much class that there were two champions that yesterday. Of course, Naomi wins, and you hate to see her win like that, where it's questionable. Where people say, "Well, what if all of this other stuff didn't happen?" But Serena, I was very proud of her. That was a proud moment.
Yeah, and I just looked up while we were speaking. Naomi Osaka, she's her mother's Japanese, so she's Japanese, but her father's Haitian, educated in the United States. So yeah, she's I guess you say biracial. Speaking of biracial and Serena, another athlete in the news this week is number 7, Colin Kaepernick. We spoke. The first segment of the radio show Friday was about the new Kaepernick ad. I don't know if you had a chance to speak to it, but we've been getting a lot of comments on the channel, and I've had more time to sort of investigate it and think about it. So I just want to do part 2 on the Colin Kaepernick Dreamy Days ad endorsement for Nike. You do have any thoughts about it? Have you had a chance to see it?
Well, I feel a lot of what happens, people have to know history is not so much made by people who are brave, but just people who kind of deal with what's happening in a large sense, contextually with what's going on. We're right now in a world where a lot of people are wondering what the hell happened in America. If America is supposed to be great, it's supposed to be a country where we're supposed to be tolerant and people who are about the better things, in life. Right now, it's a very troubling time, and I think Nike, to its credit, they're taking a big chance with this, but I think they feel that everything's about attitudes. The prevailing attitudes. To go back to what I'm thinking about is the fact that people have a sense that a lot of wrongs need to be addressed, and that the world is going crazy, and we need to get things back online again.
Yes.
And to Nike's credit, they've taken a person like Kaepernick, and they're saluting the fact that no matter what you think about what he's done, good, bad, or indifferent, the world as it should be, or the world as it could be, a better world, is made by people who dare to cross the line, who dare, as one person said, whosoever would be a man must first be a nonconformist. It's important that people, if they feel strongly about something, they stand up for what they feel. And Kaepernick has stood up. I think he's gained a lot of respect. Remember when Muhammad Ali wasn't well liked at the time, but he wasn't liked for not wanting to go into the service. But people respected his decision. And as it turned out, the war he was protesting against, it came to be where the general consensus was, yeah, it was an unjust war. It was a war we shouldn't have even been engaged in. So to get back to Kaepernick, for someone to decide, that I'm taking this stance because I'm protesting against what's happening to people who look like me that I feel is not right. I think Nike, with its commercial saluting his courage, just do it, as the phrase is. Stand up to what you believe. You stand up for what you believe, and I think that's what's important, and that message is coming across.
Well, amen to that. Again, I was, when Steph and I get on the air, it's a lot of it's comedy. We're just joking, right? Just throwing ideas out, make you think and provoke discussion. But the discussion on the channel, it's really jumped ahead. It's made me re-examine the thing. I'm seeing some. I mean, well, first off, I mean the whole "Just Do It" campaign, any kind of advertising, anything that's commodified, there's going to be some issue with it. But if you accept the fact that Kaepernick was already endorsing Nike and now they continue to support him, this is a perfect thing. It's extremely well done. But I do get a sense that there's some technology in it. There's no way you can spend millions of dollars on this and not look at what the possible equations are, how much you're going to lose in terms of brand goodwill and marketing, because he's a touchy figure, and I think that the ad is brilliant, not just in the emotion that it gives the people who've been supporting Kaepernick all this time or feel that he's on the right side of history, but also how it protects the brand from those people who feel that he's a disruptor that has no space in their mind. So I don't know if you've looked at the commercial closely or on second look, but they're just in. I feel there's some technology there. I mean, did you get a sense that there is, or?
I haven't seen the commercial in full, to be truthful, but I mean, there are other images in it, right, of other sports stars who are just doing it, I guess, because it's a history, right? It's a 30-year anniversary. It's saluting athletes over the years, the 30-year period that Nike's been doing it.
No, not at all. Not at all. This is a specific ad. It's called Crazy Dream, and the premise is if if you're going against the grain in terms of everybody's against you, it's like if you have this thought that you could do something that everybody else thinks is crazy, go ahead and do it and be better than everybody else at it. And one of the first images is it's a young black. Well, the first image is a Latino Puerto Rican skateboarder who is trying to skateboard down a pole or down a railing, down some steps, and he keeps falling. And then the next shot is a young black kid born with no legs, and he's a wrestler. And then about 30 seconds in, you see a white guy who makes a decision to lose. He's 300 pounds. He decides to lose 200 pounds and become a Ironman athlete. Turns out and after having a brain tumor, turns out that he was a music manager for the rapper 2 Chainz, and then he's he quit music and completely decided to get his health in order, and he's become this champion. So it's about overcoming or facing adversity to become even greater. And then the big there's a LGBTQ skateboarder who's featured, and you know, the most prominent people that are showcased are LeBron James and Serena Williams. But you know, so you know, but I don't have a problem with the ad per se, because advertising, I don't, you know, it's all designed to get you to a certain emotion. But I do have a problem when, and you bring up Ali, when you equate the word crazy with black men. I think that there's a little dig there, you know, because you, and also the ad is designed to empower or encourage or inspire those who feel marginalized by society. So I'm not suggesting that you should show, you know, prominent white athletes, David Beckham or something, in an ad like this. But I think it's interesting the way that, you know, and clearly they don't want to make Colin into a political figure, so you know it would be in poor taste to align him with his movement. But I do think the omission, either intentionally or inherently, because of his cause and how and what he symbolizes of the dominant culture, so to speak, is, and using the word crazy, there's a little subversive thing there that still presents white people as being, or white men as being normalized. That's the normal behavior, and anybody who thinks outside of that must be crazy. And then, you know, so, you know, I put a little mention in the comments for the video where I said, you know, they called Ali crazy. They called Jimi Hendrix the wild man of Borneo. They anybody who's ahead of the curve, outside the norm, who's a black man, Michael Jackson, Wacko Jacko, um, you know, they're gonna hit with that term. So I think it's just, that was my takeaway from it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds uh,
Malcolm X before
it
Alex
sounds
Haley
like
co-signed.
there's some good points, you know. But the whole thing is, we've grown up on motion pictures,
Hmm.
and uh, how do we view women in these movies?
Hmm.
Uh, as men, from a male gaze, it was never seeing it the way women see it or should see it.
Hmm.
And not until you listen to women and how they felt exploited by a lot of images did you become aware of what you took for granted, or weren't upset by being a male, when you hear how women felt sexualized and objectified. It's someone pointing out to you what disturbs them. It didn't disturb you because you grew up focused on something else. You grew up on seeing things from a male perspective. The point I'm trying to make is, you know, a lot of times, well, when blacks complain about things, they're seeing things from a black perspective, the same way whites see things from a white perspective. You know, everything you say, that's all valid, Mike. But the thing is, what's happening in this world today is that the people who are running this world, they're running it based on the age-old way you control a mass of people, and that's through divide and conquer. Um, yeah, Ali, maybe they called him crazy, and they call Malcolm X crazy and whatnot.
Nat Turner crazy.
Nat Turner, but what did they call the white revolutionaries? Revolutionaries who fought against Britain and wanted their freedom in the
Patriots.
American colony.
Patriots.
Okay, No. Not the British. Okay,
Insurrectors.
okay, because for someone to say give me liberty or give me death, these guys were considered crazy. As the old expression goes, um, it depends whose perspective is being asked.
Right.
One man's uh, hero is another man's villain.
Yeah.
You know, that old expression. So the thing is, I think what's important, and I think that's one of the things that has to be discussed with not everything people do is bravery. I don't think everything about this commercial's got anything to do with some bare bones uh, integrity or bravery on Nike's part, but I do feel it's connected with the context of the times right now, where people are looking at things with a closer inspection on. We have to get back to look, getting the world back in the hands of people who are not about just turning this country into a garbage heap.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you have the government doing what it's doing, and then you have a party that is closing its eyes to what's going on, a party that was supposed to be about morality and integrity, they're just closing their eyes just for the sake of maintaining power. I think the world all over, the globally, they're looking at what's happening in America, and it's scary. And I think the people right here in America are saying the same things. Something's got to happen. And
Yeah, and
go ahead. Yeah.
I think the dust is clearing. Obama, after a long absence, he made a 1 hour speech this week, and he really went after Trump and where society is and different things. So I think some of those
But
voices.
he was forced into that. See, that's the whole thing. That's what I'm talking about. Um, People are breaking protocols because we are living in a desperate time. You got a lot of people who voted for Trump, and the first thing they'll tell you is, "I'm not anything like this guy. I didn't vote for him because I'm a racist." You got a lot of black people that voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, women. You say women voting for this guy? Who's an obvious misogynist, a sexist, and So the thing is, the protocol I talk about that Trump forced Obama to break is, where you don't have presidents coming out, former presidents coming out and speaking to the people who replaced the person who replaced them. But he's forced into it because he has to try to now get out there and rally people to vote. This midterm election is people are hoping that at least we get a change in the control of who runs the House of Representatives.
Yeah. Or I think that they've been rivals for a while, Obama and Trump, but
Or
the
they hate each other, and Trump hates them with a passion.
so I think it's like a diss record. If people watch the speech, it's an hour-long speech, but the best line is like
Oh, don't forget, it's not just Obama's come out. The Bushes, they've come out.
hmm
Um,
we're coming off the McCain funeral, and there's a lot of things.
and McCain. I mean, that was just. It just shows you the hypocrisy and the spineless, gutless how gutless these spineless these Republicans are. I don't care what you think about McCain. You can't deny the fact that he's recognized as a veteran, as a hero. And you're not going to fly the flag at half staff. And the only thing that will get this sucker to bring it down out of respect for this fallen soldier, the soldier who's left us, is that you've had to have army people say, you've got to do the right thing. Okay, you didn't hear no Republicans say anything. You know, you got Lindsey Graham, who's a piece of crap, who makes a speech that we all need a little bit of McCain in us. Well, the sorry thing about Lindsey Graham is how much of a friend he was to McCain, and as close as he was to McCain, he's talking about we need a little bit of McCain in us, and as close as he was to McCain, he's got very, very, very little of McCain in him. This pig is finding all kind of ways to defend Trump. So, you know, this is how despicable the times are, because we have people running this government that don't give a damn about the people of the world. It's more party over people, politics over people.
Okay.
And it's a shame.
Well, to be continued. You know, we still have the Bob Woodward book coming out soon, and Omarosa's book, and it's this Damage Control. Michael Moore's movie's coming out in another week or so, a week and a half. So we're going to be plenty to talk about as we get closer to the midterms. I hope we have an opportunity to continue.
Well, that's, you know, you talk about these things that this is what helped Spike Lee's film Black Klansman.
Yes, and we finally got Kevin Wilmot called in Friday, so that was a good thing. Yeah, but yeah, and people should listen to that interview. He said that not to speak bad on Black Klansman, but that movie I think was designed more for a white audience to see than a black audience. But a lot of people are going to see it. It's Spike's biggest hit in years, and Kevin, he said it was designed. Like the reaction, I wouldn't say it was designed that way. He was just saying when white audiences see it, like people walk up and apologize. It's like, geez, I didn't. I'm like you said, I'm not like that. It's like I voted for Trump, but I'm not like that. So the art is.
Well, I told you how I felt about the film. I saw the film twice.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Barry, and I went with a friend of mine, Kevin. Mm-hmm. Barry, he had a different perspective than mine, but Black Klansman was not. It's made. It's a diatribe against what's going on. It's an anti-Trump film, pure and simple.
Yeah.
But that film, to make films that deal with contemporary issues, Hollywood is afraid to deal with it from a contemporary perspective.
Yeah.
Okay? So what they do is they fulfill you with entertainment, because to give you the truth of what's really going on, you would be making an incendiary, revolutionary film. And then it would be very hard for anyone to look at. So what they do is they clown up the KKK. And they make it a comedy. To me, it's like a comedy. The only thing that saved that film was when they added something that was made. They added after the film, and that's the actual footage from the Charlottesville event.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that last 3 minutes, it packs a wallop when you see
that was added on. Imagine that film without that piece added onto it. It would not have had the same effect.
Well, people would have went home scratching their heads, probably.
Exactly.
But
So everything, it's
yes, it's of the zeitgeist. I mean, it just remains to be seen. Just time will tell if that movie is looked at years from now. But I do think that there are a
well,
few
what's going to happen
that
is
do
he
remain.
may get an Academy Award nomination.
It's
Okay,
likely they have 10 films now. I think it's
yeah.
likely
So
that
so and this is the way the system works. You see, the system works because they know how to clean up their act. The people that run this country, they know how to clean up their act, or at least give you this illusion of inclusion.
right.
You make a picture, and then at the end, I'm seeing people sitting there shocked, like, oh my God. I'm in the audience, predominantly white theater, and black people saying, you didn't enjoy the movie? That's the truth.
Yeah.
There's nothing truthful about that movie.
Yeah,
No,
and yeah, if you have a refined palate and you've been exposed to things, I think it's difficult
Then the
right
other
now.
thing is you get people saying, who actually was the person who was subjected to all the terror in that film? Not no black Klansman. It was a white Jew.
Yeah.
And who came off looking like it was one big happy family? The white police and one black policeman who they didn't give a damn about. He was the only black policeman on that squad. That was such watered down crap. But the thing is, that's the way they do things in this system. They brainwash you. Talk about trick now. They brainwash you. They distract you. They give you uh, the illusion of inclusion, and then they say, I can't. Yeah. For the moment,
Yeah. Well,
but the thing is, the beat goes on. The beat goes on
it's
because the thing is, if you leave that film or any film that they bring out, it's momentary. But once you get home, it's like Chinese food. You know, you'll go have Chinese food,
yeah,
and then you get home, you're hungry again. But the food was so good at the time because they fill you with distractions,
yeah,
entertainment, and distractions. The thing is, when you want to make something that's going to change the system, you don't put anything up there that people are going to be laughing at. One quick reference I'll give you. William Wyler's last film. Do you know what his last film was, Mike?
The Liberation of L.B. Jones,
You know
1969,
your stuff. 1970.
1970.
He made that film. He said he wasn't going to sugarcoat anything about these white racists and how they treated blacks. Now you're talking about based on a true story. A lot of people don't know that Liberation of L.B. Jones, 1970, that was released, was based on a true story.
Yeah.
That film,
Well,
the way he did it.
wait. But let me just interject the plot for people who haven't seen it. As Roscoe Lee Brown is one of the wealthiest men in a small southern town. He's the undertaker. Am I correct? And he's
Yes.
married to a young woman, Lola Falana, in her first American starring role, and she's cheating on him, having sex with the white, not the sheriff, but just a white cop in their house, and he finds out about it, and he wants justice, and then it kind of goes from there. You
Yeah,
know,
the images that we were subjected to with that film, the way Wyler did it. This cop would walk right in the house. The black husband could be present and go in the bedroom and have sex with his wife.
yeah,
Okay? Now, when that film came out, the way it was done, it wasn't sugarcoated. This is what I'm talking about. They had to pull that film out of circulation because the brothers weren't having it. There was discussion about bombing the theaters. Yaphet Kotto had to go on the tour. He had to speak before the audience to tell them about it. And when I met Roscoe Lee Brown and asked him about that film, he didn't want to discuss it. and I gave him a photo to sign. When I got home, he wouldn't even sign his name to the picture.
It was
You
a
know what
photo
he
from it
signed?
was a photo from L.B. Jones.
Yeah, you know what he signed?
What?
Yours truly, L.B. Jones.
Wow.
Okay. So that's another discussion, Mike. But I don't want
Yeah.
to go off on that.
Yeah. So that falls into the whole. I'm glad we captured it because it falls into the whole concept of technology, and things are designed to reinforce the status quo. I'm not going against what Nike is. Anytime you commodify somebody's culture, their movement, and you take it away from a political statement by throwing money at it, and capitalism comes in, things are tainted. So I'm not saying anything. Anybody who has criticism of Kaepernick taking the money, I say, well, he needs the money, and maybe he'll use it to better things. So I'm not anti-capitalist in that respect. But a show that does promote capitalism to the nth degree had a huge twist most recently. The Power, it's not a spoiler because everybody memed about it within 20 seconds of the show ending. But was it Kanan? The 50 Cent character has been killed off of Power, and I know you were there watching it live, just like the
So so tell me what I missed.
Just like the Kennedy assassination. You saw it
Tell me what I
live.
missed.
Well, I don't
Tell me
watch the
what I
show.
missed.
I don't watch the show. I don't watch the
No,
show.
no, but you said something happened. What
The twist.
commercially was?
I'm saying the twist on Power. They killed off 50 Cent.
Oh,
I thought you wanted to talk about that.
oh, it was a big reaction to that.
Well, people were like, well, yeah. The reaction was they were. I didn't watch the show, but watching the memes, they were happy that the boy had some part in his demise because they felt that he was being corrupted, and that it was a very effective kill off of a villainous character for those who watch the show. Am I on point with that, or you felt differently?
Well, when you say the boy, for the audience's sake, for those who don't watch we're talking about Power's son.
Yeah, see, I don't watch the show, so I don't know the kid's
Yeah.
name.
So everybody who watches that show, that's one character that I think is one of the most hated characters on TV. This boy done lost his damn mind.
Right. Well,
But
what's the character's name? I'm just.
What the hell is this? Tariq or something?
Oh, Tariq. Yeah. Okay. So,
Uh,
were you entertained? I mean, because I don't watch the show because I don't have I
my
don't get the
brother,
network. But the thing,
today is the last episode, and I can barely eat. I don't know whether have me some soup or something. It gives me opportunity to sit with my wife and something we just, if we're not watching LeBron, Power, something we can sit and watch and enjoy together. But this is Shakespearean. Empire, Power is Shakespearean. I think you were asking me, well, Woods, how can you enjoy Power and knock all these other things as being something that throws us back moralistically or as a people? And I always like to use the term guilty pleasure, but Power, look, you got to have something that you enjoy, and good, bad, and different. I like Power, but you can see there's been some attempts. If you pay attention to the dialogue, where there's always an attempt when you have a protagonist who's what we call borderline, where they want to show you that if he kills anyone, they deserve to be killed.
So there's a moral compass there that
Yeah.
doesn't exist in a lot of these newer shows, so that are just
Yeah, there's that
glorifying.
moral compass. You know what I mean? Because just recently, I'm listening to the dialogue, and I said that I've never heard this much dialogue coming out of Omari's character's mouth, talking about yeah. Well, when I do something, the people who get killed need to be killed, but you don't do something that you got a number of cops got killed here. What about them and their families? You know what I mean? So, he's arguing with his son because his son now all of a sudden looks like he wants to be power too.
Mm.
And so you're saying, what is this, a DNA thing or what? And it goes to the thing about no matter what you do, your children, how they decide what kind of adults they decide to become, it's not always in your control. No matter how much you give them, or whatnot. You know what I mean? But it's where they're setting up something for as long as it lasts, to give it a different plot twist, a different storyline. But Power's good entertainment. The Tommy, the character Tommy, he just killed his father.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so and Tommy's an interesting guy, and he's his sweetheart. Guess who is Lala.
Okay.
Carmela Anthony's. They're still together. His wife. So.
So you just like seeing these women in the buff in
Well,
these
I
love
mean,
scenes.
to tell you the truth, I know all these voluptuous women. Yeah, you like that word, voluptuous, but uh, it, and Natari, her love scenes and whatnot. I tell that I step back and say, now, hey, I'm not going for this, but that's the world we live in. These cable stations down. It's like I remember seeing a show. Um, uh, with Fanny Newton. It didn't last long,
Yeah.
but it looked like there was actual penetration.
Yeah. Well, I'll reveal. You've told me this. You've told me this off the record. You watch these shows to get new moves. You look at Omari and you say, "I'm gonna try that when I get home. I'm gonna try that move." It doesn't always work, people. Don't leave it to the professionals. That's all I'm saying.
And that's why I'm
Omari gets
in
plenty
bad
of
shape
practice.
now, right? No
Maybe that's
better.
why. Yeah. Is it your hip? What's going on there? You need a knee replacement. What's going on, Charles? All right. Well, it's been fun. It's been real. Again, thank you for. I'm glad you're up to it, feeling better. It's good to hear your voice, and please, folks, as always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Actually two things before we go. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers. We're 5,000 subscribers away as we speak from 200,000. So I just want everybody to continue to spread the word and help us get to that milestone sooner than later. It's inevitable, but unless they take a bunch of subscribers away, which they tend to do from time to time. But we're about to hit 195,000 subscribers today, and in no small part due to those listening right now, listened all the way through to the end of this. And yeah, I guess there's all everybody has different perspectives on things. I really appreciate yours, Charles. Any final? And I want to hear when you get time, listen to the Guess Who's Coming Home, Black Fighting Men, recorded live in Vietnam. See if it brings back any memories of your time spent there.
Well, next time I see, I just found a photo I took in Vietnam.
Wow.
So I want you to help me preserve that, because that the old Kodaks, you don't know how long they'll last.
Oh yeah, by any means, yeah. I'll.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
nowadays you
then
just say,
someone, one of my old customers, he put up on Facebook. There's an old image of me. It was an article in Times, New York Times, about the store.
"Oh wow, okay, I never knew
So
that."
yeah, so I said, wow, this is one of my good friends. We used to get in discussions. We call him the magician, Ving, and so he put it up. So I got to call him, but it was. I said I had this thick black beard and whatnot. I said, oh, this brings back memories.
Oh wow.
So
Okay, I'll have to look.
so
For
anyway,
that online.
I just want to give a shout out to the family. What's going to say? We love you, and peace and blessing.
Absolutely, and yeah, like if Omari does any moves, just save him, like TiVo it, and get back to it when you're healthier.
Yeah.
You know, oh, my back. It's like, this gentleman, we need you preserved. So get as much rest as you need, and let's try and do this once a week. We have some very special guests lined up to have conversations like this with us. But we're gonna, and that'll be revealed soon, and also more projects, film and book projects in collaboration, as well as more stuff. I mean, I'm still digitizing a lot of the VHSs that you lent me from before, so you'll start seeing those on the channel regularly as well. But the Like It Is, and a lot of the shows, the John Heinrich Clark and things, people really loving and appreciating the fact that you, Charles, took the care to record and preserve a lot of these films back when, pre YouTube, pre anything, you were sharing and digging in and finding these rare films, and starting with blaxploitation and TV and stuff. So thank you for carrying that torch, Charles. I'll say that publicly.
No, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks. That's another one. Again, please feel free to comment below and subscribe. And that's it.